Cassie Eubank and the Spiritual Entrepreneurs Alliance present Elevate and Evolve, the show that will transform your mind, body, soul, and business.
Well, hello, and welcome to another incredible episode of Elevate and Evolve. Now, so many times we are on social media and we don't really know why. We get on, we say hello, we express our gratitude, and we let people know a little bit about who we are through social media. We love animals with our animal posts. We do all kinds of things with, oh, look, I like to bake. Let me show you the food that I made tonight. So we let people know who we are personally. But in business, how can we use these social platforms so that we can connect with people and turn them into our clients? Now, I know I'm going straight for it by saying that, but that's okay. I'm being direct here because ultimately we do want the relationships, we do want to connect. But when we have something of value, whether it's a class on how to use your camera better, whether it's a wonderful group like our Spiritual Entrepreneurs Alliance, when we have something that is so valuable, we want to share it. We've put our time into it, we've put our effort into it, and we want to bless people with the work we've put together. And the only way we can do that is by knowing how to connect with people in a way to where we can explain and clarify and be clear about what it is that we have to offer and how they could benefit from it so they can make an informed decision. Now, I'm saying all of this because that is why I am so excited about today's show. And we are calling it Posting for Profits. But you'll see that it's so much more than posting for profits. The profit is the side effect. But what you really get, the reward you get, is great relationships, consistency, and also when you're consistent and when we have somebody here who's so special, I can't wait to introduce her. When you really know how to craft your message, you become clearer on your purpose, on your mission, on how you're going to move forward to leave that legacy. Because we all leave a legacy, whether we know it or not, whether we choose it or not. What do we do in this life? How do we bless people in this life? How do we give? How do we live in this life? All of that is our legacy. And we don't have to be a Rockefeller to leave a legacy. We all leave a legacy. So that's why this topic is so important to me. And I could think of nobody better to bring it all together and tell us how to make our social media count so that we can make a bigger impact in this world. That's why I'm so excited that we have Alicia Couri on today. That's right. Alicia Couri, I know that you have seen her. She's everywhere on social media. That's why I have very fondly dubbed her the visibility queen. She's out there, she's seen consistently. Her message of audacious confidence just resonates with so many of us. Please join me in welcoming Alicia Couri, the CEO of Audacious Concepts Inc. and Red Carpet CEO Media and Branding. She is an internationally recognized speaker and author. Alicia has received numerous awards, including the prestigious G9 Global Icon Award and the Top Audacious Confidence Growth Expert Award and the Empowered Woman Award from the International Association of Top Professionals, as well as the Legacy Queen for a Woman of Achievement. She's a passionate advocate for women to step boldly in the direction of their dreams by up-leveling their confidence. Let's give a warm welcome to the amazing, the incomparable, the awesome, and by the time some of you are watching this, she will be a TEDx speaker because that's coming up next month. Yay! So I can say a million wonderful things about you. I could talk all day long about how much I love, admire, and appreciate you. And so thank you for being on the show. Thank you for sharing with our audience this very important thing, because I've had so many people say, I post and I post and I post to crickets. And
Yeah.
that seems to be engaging. And I know that in social media, the way that it's set up, we aren't even going to talk algorithms, okay? Because, that really, they're changing all the time. That becomes irrelevant as soon as you speak it. So you know the heart of what is important. I'm going to just go ahead and let you tell us, when it comes to social media, what is the most important thing that somebody should know?
Oh, the most important thing. I don't know if there's the most, like a silver bullet. Well,
Okay.
hi, Cassie. Thank you so much for inviting me to share today. And yeah, I don't know that there's really a silver bullet, but I'm gonna share a few tips that you can incorporate into your social media sort of plan, your strategy for social media. And I know you have dubbed me like the visibility queen, that I'm everywhere and all that, but I even think that I'm not giving it, as much justice as I need to. Like, I'm not out there enough. I'm and I think that's like a mindset thing. First of all, this wasn't part of my notes, but as I'm saying that, the mindset of, oh, I don't want to really be out there. I don't want to be too much, or, that is where I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make, because we just talk about that algorithm, and the way it's set up is all these platforms are now set up that if you're not paying to play, if you're not paying Facebook or Instagram, well, Meta really, or LinkedIn or any of these other social platforms to boost your visibility, then you're not getting a lot of visibility. So if you think that you're too much, if you post every day, that's too much. If you post 5 times a day, that's too much. That's again a mindset thing where you're thinking it's too much. But in some areas, you may have to post, like if you're on X, for instance, you may have to post multiple times a day to even get some level of visibility in X. So I'm glad you prefaced everything with, we're not talking algorithm, but I just wanted to share that. If you think that, because I used to think that, well, I don't want to seem pushy, or I don't want to seem like, I'm all that, and I have to be on there all the time, and I need everybody to see me all the time. It's not about you. If you're trying to build a business, it's about the business. It's not about you. So don't feel like, that you need to separate that business from personal kind of feeling that you're too much out there. Oh my gosh. I get like, when someone's promoting something, a couple particular people, I get probably 10 emails a day from them, and they don't think it's too much. Like 10 emails. Okay, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
every hour there's an email from this person, every hour, because they know the open rates are so low that at one point they'll either frustrate you so much that you're going to open it to unsubscribe, or and then you'll read it and say, oh, this is interesting, so they're playing the numbers, and that's how you have to look at this. You have to play the numbers. All right, let's move on from that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, as you say that, it really brings up a good point, because so many times we are concerned about, we have that who do you think you are syndrome, if you will.
Right. Imposter.
And, we've had somebody thinking, oh, who do you think you are? And we're like, well, we don't think we're anybody. But now we're starting to. So, I mean, if you had a candle business and you love these candles and these, or and you really believed in them, you would tell everybody about them, because you don't have any skin in the game. You don't feel like, oh, it's not me, I'm selling the candles. I'm not saying that I have something of value or I'm of value. And I think that that's where the disconnect comes from people. But when you really believe in what you've got, when you really know that you can transform life, you can change things, you want people to know that that's available to them. You don't want to keep it a secret. It's just people have that tied to. I mean, I know that was, a big thing, growing up. I'd have people go, oh, when I would do really well, who did she think
Who do
she
you think
is?
you are? Right.
And it's whenever I would shine, people would try to dull
Somebody
that.
would try to knock you down. Well, why don't you just turn that around? Like, well, who do you think I am?
Yeah.
Like, who do you think I am?
Oh my God.
Right.
Actually, funny story. One time I was in LA airport, and I'm putting my stuff on the conveyor belt, and I've got a laptop and a couple of things. And this guy just pushes past me and cuts in front of me and puts his stuff on the belt. And I looked up and I gave him a look. And he looks back at me, and it was Richard Belzer, who is a comedian, Law and
Yeah.
Order. And
Yeah.
I just looked at him and said, "Do you know who I am?"
Right.
And he looked at me like, "Should I?" And I just started laughing at that point. But yeah, exactly. Just turn that around. Well, do you know
Right.
who?
Well, who do you think I am? Who do you think
Right.
you are? Who
But
do
as
you
a
think I
kid,
am?
you don't, yeah, as a kid, you're so busy trying to fit in. You're just going, "Oh, uh-oh, I better dim my light." And that's what so many
Absolutely.
people, which is why I'm so glad that you do confidence and courage. And we could do a whole show on that. However, moving into the using social media to really make that impact that you want to make. Tell us a little bit more about what your system is, your strategies.
Yeah. So there are four things that I wanted to share around that. When you're moving forward on social media. First of all, you have to really understand who you're marketing to. Who is that ideal customer? And there are several ways that people have shared on how to determine who your ideal customer is. I mean, you can drill it all the way down, or you can have like a high level of who that person is, but you need to understand who they are, who you're trying to attract. Who are you trying to attract into your sphere of influence? Is it people like you with the same likes, with um, the same types of hobbies, or if you like pets, you want to attract people who have pets? Is it people who are really socially conscious and really energetically conscious? Are those the people? Or are you trying to attract a whole new group of people who have no idea about this world, and you're really trying to educate them and bring them into your world? Because it makes a big difference if you're targeting people who don't understand this. There's a lot more work to be done on the education side of it, on the influence side of it, than people who kind of have an idea about this world that you're in and just want to know more. So you really, because that will inform how much of the direction of your marketing, really. That will inform the direction of your marketing, the direction of your messaging in your marketing. I should be more clear about that. So that's what that would inform. So know who you're marketing to on social media, and build a strong brand, build a brand around that. Because the brand that you build is not around you and your preferences and what you like, it's about who you're attracting. And offline, you and I had this conversation, and I said, red was not my favorite color. Red was not, if you see me everywhere, you'll see red, you'll see the color red somewhere on me, anywhere, right? I may not be wearing it specifically, but my lips might be red, or I'll have red somewhere.
Mhm.
Red was not my favorite color, because when I meet people now, they're like, "Oh, is red your favorite color?" I'm like, "No, red was not my favorite color. Red is my brand. Red is the color of my brand." Because when I stepped out, I was actually afraid of red. I did not like red. Red was too bold for me, too, like in your face. And several years ago, 14 years ago, when I developed this brand of audacious confidence, I needed to have a color that really resonated with that message. And so red is the boldest color that you can find. In fact, we talked about, you paint a wall red, it takes like so many coats of primer to get rid of that red, and it still tries to bleed through. Red is a bold color.
I can tell you it takes 8 coats of primer. We had walls that my mom made stucco, and she was living with me, moved back in with me, and said, "Can I paint the walls red?" I'm like, "No." And she's like, "Please." I'm like, "No." And she's like, "But I promise I will clean them myself. I will paint them myself before I leave." I'm like, "Okay, it's my mom. Of course you can. Okay, go ahead." She painted the walls red. And then when my sister got pregnant, "I'm going to go live up there. I've got to leave. I'm moving out fast. So sorry." So I can tell you a lot of primer, a lot more coats. And if you have stucco walls, it may never come off.
It may never come off. You might have to replaster the whole wall because
Exactly.
red is a bold color. I mean, I like serene colors. I like calm colors. Red is
What
bold.
is your favorite color?
I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you offline. I'm going to tell
So
you
that's for
offline.
when
But
we
you
go
know,
to one of that's for when we go to one of our keys getaways, right?
yes, because you know what? That's what your favorite color is, one of those security questions. So I don't blast out my
Oh,
favorite color is because
okay.
that's one of those
Yeah.
security. So since online security is a big thing, I don't share what my favorite color is.
Oh,
But
okay.
because
Well,
I
then I
use
won't
it.
ask people anymore because I don't use colors for
Yeah, it's
my
a security.
things.
It's one of those security questions. So
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
so I've learned to embrace red. I love red now, but just recognize your brand isn't always about you if you're looking to attract the right people into your space. And having a strong, recognizable brand that attracts people to you is one of those steps that you need to take in order to start attracting the right people, right? So it needs to be visually, not just in your messaging, but visually attractive to people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other part of that is your messaging. Your messaging needs to be very crystal clear who you're talking to, why you're talking to them, what message you're trying to relay to them, and have a really clear call to action. So your message has to be crystal clear and a clear call to action so that they know not just what to do, but what to do next, right? Like, what's the next step I need them to take in this journey with me? So you're enrolling them into this journey with you and make it really easy for them to take that next step. If that next step is convoluted or really difficult and has too many steps involved, they're not going to take the next step with you. So that next step, whether it's book a call with me, here's the link, boom, right there, and they click on the link and it goes straight to your calendar, that's a clear next step that's easy for them to follow because the link is right there. If you're saying, go to my website, go to the contact me page, book a call with me through the contact me page, we'll send you a link.
Yeah. You have to make it not only give the call to action, but make it easy to do that call to action.
Yeah, like stupid proof, right?
Yeah.
It's like anyone can do the boop. All right, that's what I got to do. So
I know, we'll call it a one-click call to action.
A one-click call to action. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do now, and make it easy for me to do it.
Yep. Let me click
Don't
and
give them.
it's done. Yeah.
And most of the website, most of these social media sites do not like links to take you out of their site. So if you have a link in the post that takes you out of their site, chances are they're going to diminish the views on that post, diminish the accessibility to that post even more. So what you can do is put it in the comments, put the link in the comments. I don't believe Facebook, I'll have to check on that, but you can still do it on Facebook where they can click a link. But if you do it on, especially LinkedIn, and then Instagram does not allow for any live links. So if it's link driven, if your call to action is link driven, you have to be very careful about that. But at least make the next step super easy, even if it's raise your hand in the comments below or say me in the comments and I'll reach out to you. I'll DM you, something that gives them an action to take that you can now count them in as part of your tribe. So make sure that your posts have a call to action with it. When you post things, a lot of people, and this is about messaging too, a lot of people are talking to their peers when they post. And this was a big aha for me a couple of weeks ago. My coach and mentor actually said that to us during a webinar she was doing, a training she was doing. And she's like, you guys are out there talking to your peers. You're not talking to your actual target. So listen to your messaging, listen back to your messaging, or read your messaging back. Are you talking to people who are already doing the same thing that you're doing? Are you using language that your professional peers understand, or are you using language of the layperson that you're trying to attract? Like, how would they recognize and self-identify if you're using terminology that they have not yet become acquainted with, or that leaves them confused?
Well, and I think that happens because so many people want to share, I've got a unique process. And you
Mm-hmm.
can't really explain a process in a post. And really, in a post, it's more about what can you do for the other person? And it's about the results that they will get. So
Right.
if you're speaking to, if you speak to, oh, I did this great regression and this person wound up, people are going to go, I don't know what a regression is. They're going to stop reading at the word regression. But if you say, I had this beautiful client and the transformation I saw in their face after just the first session blew me away. This is why I do what I do. I love what I do. Then they're going to be, oh, okay. Then they're going to be curious. They're going to ask more questions because you're not explaining the process. You're saying this is what you'll get when you go through that process with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be careful of using too much technical terms that people aren't going to necessarily align with. So that's a great example. And client testimonials, having them captured on video is great, because they will use terms that they understand that will probably connect better with your audience than if you did it yourself too. So they
Yeah.
took me back to my childhood, and I recognized that when I was 4 years old, this happened, and like really break it down to the really basics in
Yeah.
communicating. So find ways to communicate the stories of the transformations that you share, that you have with your clients, and how simple it is to work with you and to have that same kind of breakthrough. The other thing about your when you start posting is your consistency. So that's the other tip. Consistency. You have to be consistent. And when I say consistent, figure out what your strategy is going to be, whether it's week by week, day by day. For instance, for me, when I post for our web shows and our podcast, we have a very specific schedule that we post, and the audience has kind of gotten to know that now, that I have a show on Mondays, I do a live show on Mondays. So on Saturday and Sunday, I'll be promoting it, and on Monday, I'll be promoting it, and I'll do a live pre-show promotion. So when I have my podcast, which launches on Wednesdays, Tuesday and Wednesday, you'll get the promo for the podcast. So there's consistency in the posting of certain things. But I'm showing up every single day. I'm showing up every week on a live. I'm showing up every week doing my shows. So when you start doing something, make sure that you're able to sustain it and be consistent in how you're showing up doing that. So consistency is a big key. And then finally, I'll share about engaging with other people. So you don't want to be a hit and run. I have to say I'm a hit and run. A lot of times on social media, I do hit and run. So do as I say, not as I do here. And not all the time though. So I do go in. I need to schedule it more. So I'm speaking to you and I'm speaking to me at the same time. I'm not pretending here. I'm telling you how it is. You have to find a way to be consistent in how you engage with people, because it's about building relationship and engaging with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So spend some time, schedule it in your calendar to spend some time. You don't have to be a lot of time, but spend some time engaging with people who engage with you, whether it's liking what they say to you, responding to what they say to you, but also going to their pages, going to their profiles, finding some posts that speak to you so that you can now leave a comment that is thoughtful, not just a like and a gif or a like and a heart, but actually saying something meaningful in their posts, because the more you engage meaningfully with someone, they will engage back with you on a much higher, more meaningful level. And you can build that relationship over time that way. And then, you DM them. You don't have to jump in their DMs right away, but start building that relationship by going out, seeking other people, looking at what they post and responding to their posts. And you don't have to do that a ton, like they don't have to become your BFFs. But if they see you engaging with them and they see that, oh, you took the time to really read me and they're a fan of yours, then most likely they're willing to share more of what you post. They'll be sharing and stuff. One thing that I find a little bit, I'll say a little annoying, is when people just tag a ton of people in a post that has absolutely nothing to do with them to try to get engagement. Tagging a bunch of people to get engagement on your post when they're not involved in that post can be annoying to others. So you may turn people off by just tagging them on your stuff. Now, if it's something that you want them to see that they haven't seen, maybe if you tag them on it and then be courteous enough to message them and say, hey, I just tagged you in this post because I think it's something that you can see, or help me out. I'm trying to, get more likes on this, or, follow it up with a message to engage instead of just blindly tagging a whole lot of people. Because I see people tagging and I get tagged a lot on stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with me. So on Facebook, I put that little I
have to approve
that I have to approve every tag, so it doesn't just fall, because that's one way people want to spread their message to your audience, is by just tagging you and then it shows up in your feed. To me, that's like squatting on someone else's property.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like squat. Don't do it. It's not, unless you have permission from that person. Like I tell some people, hey, tag me in your stuff. If you want people to see it, tag me in your stuff. I don't mind. But not everybody. Like, ask permission to squat on my land. Don't just.
And not everything. Yes.
And not everything. Right. So there's some form of etiquette when it comes to your social media that you should be a little more courteous with others. I mean, there are some people that when they tag me, I just delete it immediately, because it's like, you didn't even ask me if you could tag me. I'm not involved in this in any way. And we haven't spoken in like 3-5 years. So why are you tagging me? Why are you tagging me?
I'm glad you joined a new MLM, but I'm glad you joined a new MLM, and I love you, but I don't want that on my page. That's just not how I want my wall represented.
Right. Because again, you have to recognize this is your real estate. This is your real estate. So you get to design your real estate. I love when people comment on the stuff that I put up there. I try to go back in and give them a like and comment. Sometimes it's just the volume. I just don't have the time to comment, but I will respond with a GIF, because I want you to know that I did think of you, and I'll respond with a GIF. And sometimes I respond by, like actually writing out a message with some people, but I can't do that with every person. Especially like when it's your birthday and you have like 500 messages. It's like, but I want to go in and acknowledge everybody and send a short little gift to say thank you and stuff. So things like that, I understand you can't always, but there are times when you should, especially if you're promoting something, instead of just being out there blasting promotions, you should engage more with people and engage with people who actually comment on your promotion so that you continue to encourage them to like and share the things that you have. Hopefully this is helpful to
Oh,
your
absolutely.
community,
Absolutely. It
our
really is.
community.
So, yes, our community, because
I just
anything
went
I
on
do,
a
you're
little
part
rant.
of. I love
I know.
that.
I just went on a little rant about tagging, but tag people that specifically should know about it, are involved in it, but don't just tag them. Go back and message them and say, "Hey, I just tagged you in something I want you to your eyeballs on, or I want you to make sure that you knew about it or something like that." Don't just tag and it's like a hit
Yeah.
and run.
Yeah, and, like, I know I recently put up a post about my TED Talk, and the people I tagged were the ones that had recently asked me for tickets. Let me know
Right,
when tickets are
exactly.
available. You wanted to know, okay, here's the information, here's the link, go ahead and get the tickets. So, those would be the times that I would tag, or if they're in the picture with me, or if it's like, hey, who's coming with me to Aruba? And it would always be you and
Exactly.
Cece tagged there,
Yes, exactly. Better be.
right?
There are people that we've built such solid relationships that if they tag me on stuff, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Yeah,
It's the people
yeah.
that I either have never met you before in my life, I don't have a
Mhm.
personal relationship with you, and you're tagging me in things, or I haven't spoken to you in years and you're tagging me in stuff that has nothing to do with me. So those are, you're promoting your own thing, but you're tagging me. To me, that's squatting
Well,
on
and
someone
that's it,
else's toes.
promoting your own thing. If and the intention, if it's just, "Hey, this is something fun, I want somebody to make sure that they see it," one of my friends, that's one thing. It's another one when it's like, "Let me use your wall to promote my products and services."
Right. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That's
Poor
no,
form,
that's
poor
in
form.
poor
That
form,
it's a
exactly.
violation.
But if we don't stand up for it and say, "Hey, hey, hey, you know, why did you tag me on this?" Then they'll continue to do it without recognizing that it's bad etiquette to do it. Because at one point on Facebook, they would just tell you, "Oh yeah, tag everybody, tag, tag, tag," and no,
Yeah, I was taught that strategy at one point, and it never felt right to me, and,
yeah,
because I didn't
I
want it
don't like
done to
it.
me. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't enjoy it at all. I like it if you tag me and it's relevant to me in some way, then that's a proper tag. Or I've
Mhm.
given you permission. I've told people, like if you're a guest on my show, tag me if you're promoting the show, tag me on it. So I will tell you,
Absolutely.
I will give you permission to tag at certain times, but don't just randomly just tag a bunch of because they're friends or followers that they've given you permission to tag
To
on
do
their
that.
page. That's not no,
Okay.
no, no, no.
So quick recap for everybody, because that was so much great information. Can you give us the highlights?
All right, so good thing I took notes, right?
Well, no, well, you said, okay, first thing is identify your audience, make sure you know who you're speaking to so your messaging is point on.
Yes,
And,
identify on.
what is it that you want to offer them and what is it that you want them to do for the next step?
Clarify
And
your
then
message, make the next step clear.
And we
Absolutely.
talked about the importance of even visual branding because a lot of people think branding is just my message or what I say but it's
Oh, my
also the
logo.
look. It's
Right.
yeah,
It's not just
exactly.
the logo.
It's
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 a
even the feel
consistent.
of the pictures that you use. I had somebody doing memes for me and I'm like, I have a soft, airy feel. I've got a mystical, magical, transformation, wonderful,
And
either
sparkles.
spiritual.
Sparkles.
Yes, sparkles
Very
and
sparkles.
unicorns.
Yeah.
So that is my brand. So I wouldn't put anything in there that was, a factory. That just wouldn't fit with my brand. It doesn't project the image. So visual, that was a brilliant thing that you brought forward is, visual branding is an important piece of what you're doing too.
Can I just
You
say on that piece of visual branding, like sometimes, and you may need to go do a new photo shoot. You may need to do a
Mhm.
photo shoot with different expressions and things because just today, and I know this is going to air later on, so but I had a guest cancel for my show, and the photo that was used was, you know, happy and smiley. And then because we had to shift topics, like really quickly, the new images that had to come out because the topic is more somber. My graphic artist was using the same photo of me that I was there smiling, talking about something that's really somber. And I'm like, we got to change the photo. We can't use that photo. So you have to look at what is the message, and is the graphic cohesive with the message? So to
Right.
that point, yeah. So we had to
And
find a picture, search quickly for a picture that I had more of a somber look. So we could put that together.
yeah, you can't talk. Okay, we've got an attorney here talking about what you need to get together for, for when you get older and, end of life to make sure your kids aren't, and we're going to be talking about wills and estates and hey, is that going to be great? Exactly right. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love that you said
Yeah.
that. So yes, and your pictures, your images have to match your messaging. Absolutely.
Correct.
Now, you being
And
and
consistency. That was another
consist
point. Clear
consistency
message,
and call to action.
being consistent. Yes.
Consistency and easy call to action.
Correct.
So now you do so many things in the way of helping not just individuals but companies to
Yeah.
really identify strengths and weaknesses. I know you're a Colby facilitator, and I don't know if that's the term that they use, Colby facilitator, but
Colby
you run
certified consultant. That's the official. Colby
Colby
certified consultant.
certified, yeah. And again, to teach people how to utilize their strengths and weaknesses, you also have an eye for putting together the brand. Who is your market? How can people learn more about you and how they can work with you? Because messaging is so important and consistency is. But if that's where people I think fall down is like, I don't really know. I don't have a clear message. So I just feel like I'm just saying stuff. But
Yeah.
if I were to say profound, 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 I'd be doing it all day long. And that's where you come in. And that's where one of your areas of genius, zones of genius is.
Yeah.
So tell people how they can work with you and share more
Absolutely.
about that, because that would be a great deal.
So absolutely. So first of all, we do work with strengths. We don't ever talk about weaknesses. We have strengths and blind spots. And the reason why it's not a weakness for you, it's things that might be energy draining, because you can always skill up, right? You can always learn something and do it. But if it's a strength for you, it comes naturally. It's more innate. It's more within your wheelhouse. And if it's something that you have to work hard at, we'd rather take that off your plate, because that's not how you're going to be most productive, most effective. So we try to work with people on this, identifying their strengths and then properly appropriating those strengths, making sure that you know how to use those strengths to collapse time and make things, like even faster for you. So we use Colby. We also use a couple others, motivational maps, predictive index, a couple other strength-based assessments to help our clients with whether they're an individual leader or if they're leading a team, and we work with the leader and the team. I also work with entrepreneurs, and I want to say female entrepreneurs because that's really my sweet spot. Female entrepreneurs to hone in that message and really understand themselves, build themselves a strong brand. Those are things we really love doing as well. And it really starts with knowing who you are. So all those, understanding those strengths and identifying your particular zone of genius, that's within my wheelhouse. And then the best way to get in touch with me, and I'm going to give you the easy button on this, is alicia360.com. alicia360.com. You have access to me on every level that I am available. alicia360.com. You can text me, you can email me, you can WhatsApp me, you can connect with me on all social media platforms through that site. You can also see all the different websites that we have, the different businesses that we have out there in the marketplace with the different websites, to see what suits your need best. So that's the easy button, Alicia360.com. You go
You
there.
got it all there.
Everything
Awesome.
is right there. Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I am so glad that you joined us today. For those of you watching, this is another wonderful episode of Elevate and Evolve, which is part of the Spiritual Entrepreneurs Alliance, which the more we have been a member, we have been a group, a community now for about 6 months. And really, this is just a group about feeling good, about raising our energy, about being the best that we can be.
Mhm.
Because when you are not feeling good, when your energy's down, like you were saying, identify the things that you're good at, Alicia, and the ones that you aren't, that can be an energy drain. If your energy is drained, you're going to lose your passion for what you're doing.
Passion
And
and
when
momentum. Passion and
exactly.
momentum.
Exactly. And when your energy is down, and that's why with this world, there is so much going on to pull our energy this way or that way. And in our group, we do energetic healings. We do connection with spirit using your intuition. We've got classes. We're starting classes on gratitude. We're starting classes on self-love and confidence once a month. So this way you can keep your vibe high. And if you're coming to the TEDx in January, that means you've got good juju, or you're vibing high. So yeah, I'm going to throw in the TEDx reference every chance I can
Every
for a
chance you
while.
get, you've got to. Yes,
Yes.
good to do with me
Alicia
and
and I
you.
will be there. We'll be blowing you kisses. So glad that you join us.
Yes.
But
Go get
yes,
your tickets.
yeah,
TEDxMiramar.com.
TEDx
I just put
yes,
it like
I don't have a ticker for that just yet, but
mm,
yes, and the whole thing about our community is it's a supportive, loving community where we have beautiful people like Alicia that share their knowledge, that share their skills, because in the end, at the end of your life, and it happened when I was holding a friend of mine's hand. He had leukemia, and we always thought he was going to make it, but it was his last days in the hospital. And just before he went into a coma, he looked up at me and he said, "Hey, Cass, did I make a difference?" That question hit me, and hit me hard, because yes, he had, and I quickly reassured him, but that kept echoing in my mind long after he left us. And have I made enough of an impact? Have I made enough of a difference? I knew I had, but could I do better? And we can only do our best when we're energetically our best, when we're taking care of ourselves, when we appreciate ourselves, when we confidently move forward into the things we want to do, when we are in that vibe of gratitude so that things just kind of come towards us, when we do sound bath healings, when we do meditations, when we do all the things we do in our community. And we
mhm.
do this together because alone our vibe is good, but you get in a group of high vibe people and there's no
Ah,
stopping us. There is no stopping us. So this show is part of that community. We put it out to the public for a little bit, and then we retire it to our libraries where our members can see it at any time, along with coming to our healing sessions, our energy sessions, all of the wonderful things that we do. So if you have any inclination at all, we would love for you to join our high vibe tribe, the Spiritual Entrepreneurs Alliance. Although, I don't know, we might just have to rename it the Feel Good Goddesses, because that's really what we have evolved into, is just everybody feeling good and raising each other up and just living our best lives so we can leave a legacy, because you will leave a legacy whether you mean to or not, and you get to either decide what your legacy is or it will be written for you. And when you're living your best, feeling your best, you can focus on doing your best and engaging with the world and making that impact that you want to make, living happier, where even if people say, "Oh my gosh, that person smiled all the time, and whenever they were around, they brightened up my room, they brightened up my heart," that is a legacy. So that's why I invite you all to check it out. Right now, we're doing founding members up until February 14th. And then after that, show us the love or the price is going up. But it
Hey,
is so
listen,
valuable.
that's another area that we need to have a discussion around pricing and aligning yourself with the price, with your value, because it's something that we really struggle with when we
It
first
is.
start doing things. and not really understanding our value and how to price properly, price ourselves. So yes, the price will be going up and there will be no exceptions.
There will know, because and somebody had asked me one time, is there any wiggle room? And right now, founding members, it's $20. Are you
Yep.
kidding? For 4 healing sessions, and I know it's ridiculously low, but we've worked out the kinks. Everything is great. We're getting engagement. Everything is coming together. We've defined that we are feel-good goddesses. And if
Yeah.
you want to feel good and be hanging with us goddesses and elevate to your highest life, then we are for you, and we would love to have you.
Absolutely.
And Alicia, just one more time, thank you so, so much. You have so much value. And I know you get paid so much for sharing these things and teaching these things, because it is so important. But you know what? This is the tip of the iceberg. Get with Alicia, go further, take a deep dive. Whatever you're doing for a reason. You want to help for a reason. You want to serve for a reason. And you can't serve if your messaging isn't right, if you aren't clear on how to move forward, if you don't know, if you're not being consistent because you don't even know what you're saying. So, or how it's impacting people. Nobody wants to run on the hamster wheel. But when you know that you're running on the track and you're going for gold, you're going to run a lot faster. You're going to be a lot more consistent. And Alicia will take you from the hamster wheel to the Olympic goal line. So make sure you reach out to her and connect with her, because she will do wonders for your business. And even if you just want clarity in your life and the legacy you're going to leave, she can help you with personal branding as well as business branding, as well as visual branding. So she's a master at it. Don't settle for anybody less. Go to the best. Reach out to Alicia one more time at Alicia360.com.
Yes, go check it out.
Alicia, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate and love you so much. And you just, everybody out there, have a beautiful day, and we'll see you at TEDx.
Thank
TEDx
you.
Miramar. Bye.